We'll call this the regular meeting of the Governing Board of Lammersville Unified School District to order at 7 o'clock p.m. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. At this time, please take a moment to silence or turn off your cell phones. For those of you that are here that would like to address the board about a specific agenda item and/or during public comment, please fill out a blue comment card, which is in the back on the wall there, so that we know to call on you. Item 1, Pledge of Allegiance. Principal Pacheco, if you or one of your students would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. We have 8th grader Pragni Adama who's going to lead.
Item 2, roll call, please. Oh, I am so very sorry. Please continue on with Hanson's presentation, Principal Pacheco. I apologize.
Hey, President Clements, members of the board, and Superintendent Nicholas, thanks for having us. I'm going to go through just a quick presentation that I have because the kids want to talk about Hosa. They're very excited. So I'm going to run through mine. It's just kind of an overview of what we've done so far this year since we've been back on campus, and the students have been really excited. So first, I have the Building Tradition, Culture, and Community at Hanson, and I looked back at one of my old board presentations, and it said the same thing, and that's because we were first starting to open. And it kind of feels like we're opening again, because we only did certain things once or twice. So when we find ourselves saying, well, we've always done it this way, well, no, we haven't. We've only done it once or twice. So we're still building community, and we're still adding traditions to our community and our programs at Hanson. So I'm going to just kind of run through those. This year we were able to bring back our Halloween parade and our trunk or treat, and that was sponsored by our PTA. So it was nice to see the families out for that. Our staff were zoo animals, and I got to be the zookeeper, which was a lot of fun. This year, we also did Socktober. Our National Junior Honor Society facilitated that, and they collected 1,500 pairs of socks to distribute to the homeless. And the Socktober initiative was founded in 2011, and then by 2013 was global. And so each year, schools across the United States and globally collect socks. So that was a lot of fun. Each year, well, the last 2 years, Hanson has celebrated the Hour of Code. That's during the Computer Science and Education Week in December. So all of our students in TK through 8 participate in 1 full hour of coding. And whether it's in the makerspace or the multipurpose room, they all participate, and then they get to sign their name on the wall of code. We celebrated the 100th day of school, which was very exciting this year. So we got to do that in person. We had our STEAM Fair Phase 1. So in this event, we just displayed the science projects that students did, and we announced the winners of our school science fair. We're going to do the second part in May, where we'll have the hands-on activities that students can participate in. We did have several students who went on to win prizes at the county, and then we had a student who placed first and is going on to the state, and he happens to be here tonight to talk about Hosa as well. He did a very great job. We also did well at our Science Olympiad. We were able to do that in person in Stockton a few weeks ago. We had a team that took 3rd place. So we'll be going to state alongside Cuesta, I believe, and Wickland. Yes. And maybe Bethany. Okay. So we have some competition there. These are just a few other things, a few that make Hanson unique and a few that the other schools do as well. We were happy to be able to participate in sports. We've been using our makerspace all year. We have makerspace every week. Each class goes once a week during their library time. So we have stations there where they do some checking out of books. They do a few stations in the makerspace. So they get all of that once a week. We have our ASB that's still kind of growing and inventing new fun things for us to do. And then our Genius Hour is something that we're really proud of. and that is the last hour of the day every Friday. So all of our students get to choose an activity that they're interested in and go to a class that a teacher is teaching something they're interested in. So we've had things like sewing, we had cake decorating, that was fun, in the multipurpose room, not in the classrooms. We had a teacher who was teaching silk screening. She used to be a graphic artist. So it's just an hour for our students to get to explore something that they find interesting. That's just an outlet for them, kind of like an elective for TK through 8th graders. One of those is our Hosa team. So out of Genius Hour, we were able to form the Hosa team in partnership with the high school. So thank you, Ben, for letting us use Miss Olson. And our high school kids that have graduated have come back to help coach our students, and they've done really well, and they'll talk about that. So that's something that's come out of our Genius Hour. Some of the things we've done this year for social emotional learning. Again, thank you to the high school for sharing this resource. We purchased Sown to Grow. And so every Friday, our 4th through 8th grade students do an emotional check-in. So they go through the platform and they choose an emoji about how they're feeling this week. And then they're able to write some comments about how they're feeling. And what we've discovered is a lot of students are way more comfortable writing their feelings than saying them. Probably all are. And so teachers can read those, and it'll flag certain activity or words where students need teachers to intervene, or the teacher can just write a comment back to them and just let them know they're there to support. And it's been really good to be able to catch some things that we can then refer students to our counselors for this year. And then our TK through 3rd graders are doing Yo Power, and this is a health and wellness program where they incorporate the Yo Power Sunburst there into their circle time. They talk about nutrition, health, and emotional well-being, and they also learn some stretches, and throughout the day they take a stretch or a mindful moment when they need to just kind of take a minute and come back to earth and focus on their learning. Okay. So that brings us to Hosa. Wanted to end with that because I believe it's on the agenda tonight, and the state competition's coming up very shortly, and they're very excited. So again, through our Genius Hour, we were able to form the Hosa team under the guidance of Mrs. Parmar. They have already been to regional conferences and state conferences and the International Leadership Conference in the past, and they also qualified for the state conference this year so far. So they're excited to present to you their Hosa.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are part of the leadership team at Hanson Hosa. Hosa is an organization in which students are able to explore the health industry and the medical field. It stands for Health Occupations Students of America, and is truly a surreal thing to undergo. Through Hosa, our students have been able to make many developments, such as learning about leadership skills, the medical field, and how to socialize. My name is Tanish Datta, and I'm Hanson Hosa's president. I've had an incredible journey and learned a lot of things on the way. Through Hosa, I was able to achieve many things, as I had played first in SLC and second in ILC.
Hello, my name is Angelin Charles, and I'm Hanson Hosa's secretary. I've been part of Hosa for around 3 years now, but my wish to compete in Hosa had started before. My sister, Ann Charles, was part of the very first LUSD middle school students to go compete at the international level in Orlando, Florida. My sister had influenced my own decision to join Hosa, and here I am, ready with my fellow officers to go compete at SLC. The lessons we have learned through Hosa have been unforgettable. From the recognition of awards and the enjoyable competitions and conferences, my Hosa experience is truly something I will never forget.
Hi, my name is Harish, and I am Hanson Hosa's manager. I've been in Hosa for 2 years. Over my 2 years in Hosa, I've used my achievements to better learn how to improve my skills and learn how to work better with people. One of my most favorite things about Hosa is that it is filled with creativity that sparks from teamwork and collaboration. Our Hosa team is filled with many talented people who would really bring a benefit at our stay at Long Beach. To me, Hosa has been about expressing ourselves in competition and in teamwork. Thank you.
Our Hanson Hosa chapter has been very successful in the past, with almost 97.5% of our previous chapter making it to SLC. We have had over 20 students qualify for ILC last year, where 1/4 of us placed top 10 in the world in our various events. We have consistently placed high in ILC each year and raised the bar of competition in middle school Hosa. And this year we are ecstatic and certain that we will once again perform very well and qualify for ILC.
Hosa is extremely special in teaching as it makes long-lasting impacts on students. When interviewing previous students from Hanson Hosa who currently go to the high school, we learned that Hosa has impacted them in amazing ways. Hosa was able to teach them many different things about how the medical field is and different facts and information in it. It helped them root out and make a new group that they may interact with in the future. Hosa also has special workshops with great teachers and materials that help students learn many new things and learn more about how things work in the medical field.
While Hosa currently helps boost our morale and currently improves Hosa, also it helps our futures. Hosa helps give us a better understanding of real-world medical practices and helps us have more of a building block in our future medical career. It gives us a better understanding on how a real-world scientist or doctor is in the field. Hosa establishes the strong aspects of both practical and theory of being a scientist or a doctor. It teaches about the medical field and the real-world practices that are useful and fun to do. Hosa has also created a complex and social network that really connects with new people and helps us learn about different skills and experiences. Another fun thing about Hosa is that it has multiple different events that not only teach about the medical field, but also about leadership.
Hello, my name is Pragni Dama, and I'm Hanson Hosa's Vice President. I've been helping the students of Hanson Hosa reach their best potential for 2 years now, and I've learned many important lessons and earned accolades for my acquired knowledge along the journey. And the past 2 years of our lives have been unpredictable. With the pandemic on our hands, our lives have taken so many twists and turns, the meaning of normal has changed. And these twists and turns caused SLC, the state conference of 2019, to cancel, and everything went virtual. My whole world flipped upside down. The following year, I was put into the events Medical Reading and Health Education. Participating in these events helped me gain a healthy balance between my studies and my social life. It taught me discipline and a good work ethic. The hard work paid off because the day to showcase my newly acquired knowledge had come, and I had placed second in the state conference for the event Medical Reading. That meant I was moving on to the International Leadership Conference. With my newfound discipline and study ethic, ILC seemed like a breeze. This time I actually enjoyed studying and learned many new things from the books I read for my event. I also took part in another event called Animatage, and I took the test and placed 7th in the world for the event Medical Reading in the International Leadership Conference. I also placed first for the team event of Animatage. My self-esteem and confidence were boosted, and I felt good about myself. I felt more comfortable with trying new things and exploring out of my comfort zone. In the end, I ended up learning about discipline, how to maintain a good work ethic, and have fun while studying, the necessary balance in life, and all the other things that are needed to be successful in life and in school. I'm sure that these lessons will be beneficial in the real world.
Overall, Hosa is an incredible organization which benefits students in many ways. It has helped all our students learn about the medical field and be able to unlock their own potential and shatter their expectations. It helps them develop leadership skills which will help them throughout their lives, even if they don't pursue a career in medicine. Hosa helps students socialize and make connections that may last a lifetime. It helps us develop a good work ethic and learn to handle many different things at once. Hosa puts in workshops to give us a real experience of what the medical field is like. And of course, Hanson does amazing in Hosa. Therefore, Hosa is a beneficial event to experience, helps students discover and explore and achieve and learn new things in life. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you to our Hosa kids, and then again, our advisor, Mrs. Parmar, and the high school for partnering with us on Hosa. We're very proud of our Hosa team. And that's all we have tonight, unless there's any questions.
Anybody have comments or questions?
Just amazing young people you have there.
I have a comment. The persuasiveness. I mean, essentially, this was a persuasive speech to the board to continue to support Hosa. And wow, the district staff couldn't have done a better job. Like, seriously, very well spoken, incredible effort and incredible results. I am so impressed with you guys. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I'd just like to echo that. And I felt like I was looking at a future chief of surgery speaking to us. And so great job and keep it up. The future is definitely bright.
I agree, and I'm so happy that you have this opportunity because learning these medical skills is something that frequently doesn't come until you hit college or even post-grad school. So I think it's a great opportunity, and yeah, I'm excited that Hanson's doing it.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, guys. Great job. And I know that, you know, there's Hosa for you guys, and then, you know, watching a school board meeting is like a really close second to that. But if you would like to leave and continue your Hosa studies or school studies or whatever, by all means, go ahead. Thank you very much for coming tonight. No, thank you. Okay, now for item 2. Roll call, please.
Lisa Boulay,
Here.
Colin Clements,
Here.
Benita Daniel,
Absent.
Stephanie Olson,
Here.
David Pombo,
Here.
Sanita Jithendra.
Here.
Sanita, can you introduce the incoming student trustee?
Yes, of course. So since I will be graduating this year, we have elected a new district board student representative, and she is here with me today. This is Satya, and would you like to say a few words?
Hello, my name is Satya Seelam. I'm a current junior at Mountain House High School, and I'm really excited to be here, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
Item 3, approval and/or corrections to the agenda.
There are none.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Olson and a second by trustee Boulay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. Item 4, committee reports. A, District Advisory Committee, trustee Pombo.
Nothing to report.
Item B, District English Language Advisory Committee, that's me. The next DLAC meeting will be a joint meeting with the Education Committee and is scheduled to be a virtual meeting on April 14th at 6:30. The upcoming DLAC meeting is also scheduled to be the final DLAC meeting of the current school year. Item C, Education Committee, trustee Pombo.
Nothing to report other than that we will be having the joint meeting with the DLAC committee on April 14th at 6:30 virtually.
Thank you, sir. Item D, Facilities Committee, trustee Olson.
Nothing to report.
Item E, Policy Committee, that's me. As promised, Dr. Nicholas and I consulted with, Dr. Nicholas consulted with the relevant members of district staff and has come back with a recommendation that the suspension of the Policy Committee be extended through the end of the current school year, i.e. into May. I support the recommendation with the understanding that the efforts of the Policy Committee will be resumed in June, and I'm requesting my fellow board members' support for that proposal.
That's fine.
Yes.
I agree.
Thank you very much. Item F, Safety Committee, trustee Pombo.
Nothing to report.
And item G, Wellness Committee, trustee Boulay.
The next Wellness Committee meeting is on April 20th.
Thank you. Item 5, Governing Board reports. Student trustee Jithendra.
Yes. Good evening, trustees. Over the past couple of weeks, the Associated Student Body at Mountain House High School has planned a couple of events that we've successfully executed to kick off the second semester. Some of those events were that our academics committee planned a pie day this week. We also had a February fling in February, and we are holding our second rally of the year based off of postponing it twice now. We're holding it this Friday, so we're very excited for that. And in addition, we did have some mixed emotions about the lifting of the mask mandate this week, but I'm glad to say that most of the feedback was positive in the sense that students are glad that they still have the choice to make the safe decisions based off of their own calls. And in addition, we also had our ASB elections, during which we elected a new
district board representative who was introduced earlier, and she will be shadowing me at the next couple of meetings. And I'm glad to say she's very excited to join the board next year. Thank you. That is the end of my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee Pombo?
Yes, I, along with trustees Olson, Boulay, Clements, and Superintendent Nicholas, attended the San Joaquin County School Board's annual dinner last week, and it was enjoyable. Earlier today, it was my pleasure to serve as a shark for Shelby Schofield's classes at Mountain House High School for her rendition of Shark Tank. I've done this in the past, and it's always interesting to see the ideas the students come up with and quiz them on how they will implement those ideas. This year they were tasked with helping the Ukrainian refugees and had some very interesting ideas. It was once again an enjoyable experience, and that concludes my report.
Thank you. Trustee Olson?
As Trustee Pombo stated, I attended the county school board's dinner last week with the rest of you, and that weekend I also attended the county honor music concert for middle school students. Several Mountain House students were in the orchestra and in the band, and I can't remember if I saw any names for the choir, but I know we represented well, especially with orchestra. Most of the first chairs were Mountain House students. So we've got a solid middle school strings program that I hope will just flourish because they sounded amazing. And there is a video available for people to watch, I believe. So, and then I also attended Shark Tank at Mountain House High School today in Mrs. Schofield's class, and got to see a few periods of some wonderful presentations. And the students all successfully avoided getting tanked, so they did a great job. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Trustee Boulay?
In addition to attending the San Joaquin County School Board's dinner, on March 5th, I volunteered at the San Joaquin County Science Olympiad competition for the middle school and high school divisions. This was an in-person event, which we haven't done in a couple years. So while I was there, I stopped by and saw each of our school sites and wished them luck. I congratulate all the participants for their months of hard work and for all the scientific knowledge that they gained. And I do have some results, but I don't want to steal anyone's thunder if someone else is going to announce the results. We heard a few this morning, or earlier today, but that's all I have.
Thank you. For my part, as my peers mentioned, I did attend the San Joaquin County Office of Education annual school board dinner in Stockton on Thursday, March 3rd. I also treated my family to a crab dinner in support of the Mountain House High School athletic boosters. While we really would have liked to have gone to a venue and had the opportunity to socialize with our fellow community members, it was still great to, treat my family to a nice crab dinner. That was a lot of fun. And I wanted to thank the boosters board for putting that on, and volunteers. I also had my first site visit of the year, and I wanted to thank Principal Manley for affording me his time. In keeping with my desire to learn about special education, the classroom visitation portion of the site focused primarily on special education classrooms. I know that all of us on the board and the staff and the district as a whole want to make sure that the wearing of masks are truly optional and that no peer pressure is exerted for students to wear a mask or not to wear a mask. The teachers and staff at the site level are remaining vigilant to ensure that this is the case. During our classroom visits, I opted to wear a mask, while Principal Manley opted not to. One child walked up to Principal Manley and me and informed us that his parents had told him that he no longer had to wear a mask. And we confirmed that this was in fact the case. He then noted that one of us was wearing a mask and the other one wasn't. Principal Manley pointed out that just like his classmates, staff members get to choose whether they wear a mask or not, but we still work together without a problem, just like his classmates could study and work together even though some were wearing masks and others were not. I point this out only because it struck me that this child's questions were truly inquisitive. He wasn't siding one way or the other. He was just curious about the changes. He was understandably curious about the changes that had been going on in his environment. If his questions had been phrased a little bit differently and posed to a fellow classmate, those questions, same questions or similar questions, could have been viewed as peer pressure. So hopefully the parents have been discussing this issue with their children, and these types of questions will ramp down over time, over the next several days and maybe possibly weeks. But I just wanted to point that out because he was very interested in what was going on and why. Finally, I wanted to remind the parents of the community that may be watching that Lammersville Unified School District has two $1,000 school scholarships available to all Mountain House High School seniors that are graduating in June of 2022. And the scholarship committee is especially interested in awarding these scholarships to students that have demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity in their life. Parents, please encourage your seniors to apply. The district office or the high school can provide the details. But please, we'd like a robust list of applicants for those applications. We really want them to go to the best candidates. And that is the end of my report. Item 6, receiving of public comments. The entire board appreciates hearing from members of the community and public at large. To facilitate this, the board shall give members of the public an opportunity to address the board either before or during the board's consideration of each agenda item, Code Section 54954.3. At a time so designated on the agenda, members of the public may also bring before the board matters that are not listed on the agenda of a regular meeting. The board may refer such a matter to the superintendent or designee or take it under advisement, but shall not take action at that time. The board may place the matter of the agenda on a subsequent meeting for discussion or action. Individual speakers will be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 20 minutes. Speakers will note that there are green, yellow, and red lights on the lectern and that there's a digital clock indicating the remaining time for each speaker. When the yellow or middle one lights up, the speaker has 1 minute remaining, so the speaker should begin to wrap up their comments and be able to finish at the end of their 3 minutes when the red light comes on. In order to be courteous and fair to other members of the community that has spoken at this meeting or a previous meeting and have limited their comments to 3 minutes allotted, and others who also want to speak, I will unfortunately have to cut speakers off if they continue speaking after their 3 minutes are up. I don't have any blue cards. However, blue cards are encouraged but not required. Are there any members of the public here that would like to speak that did not turn in a blue comment card? Okay. Thank you very much. Item 7, consent items for consideration. Item A, governing board meeting minutes for the regular meeting, March 2nd, 2022. Item B, contracts under $50,000, including Stephen Estudio, contract for writing and adjusting MHHS marching band drills from February through June of 2022, funded through the Mountain House High School band budget, $4,000. Discovery Education Math Tech Book, renewal of contract for a 2-year license agreement for Mountain House High School, grades 9 through 12, for school years 2022 and 2023 through 2023-2024, $11,000. Item C, ratification of budget revisions and warrant list for February 2022. Item D, ratification of the 2021-2022 new hires. Item E, ratification of resignations. Item F, ratification of retirements. Item G, updated 2021 and 2022 fundraisers. Item H, approval of early high school graduation or reduction of graduation requirements petitions for 2 students. Item I, single plan for student achievement, Lammersville Elementary School. And item J, ratification of school-sponsored overnight trips. I'm sure that most, if not all, the boards will have a comment or two on the retirement of 2 incredibly valued members of the team. And if we could change the outcome by pulling it out and voting no, some of us would probably actually do that. Since we cannot do that, I would like to suggest that we proceed with the business of discussing and voting on the consent items, and then I will open the floor for comments on the retirements. Would any board member like to pull a specific consent item out for separate discussion and deliberation, or are there any questions and comments about the consent items?
Yes, Mr. President, I have a question for the superintendent. On the school-sponsored overnight trips, I noticed that some of the trips are fully paid by the district and others are partially paid by students, and I'd just like to have an explanation of the reason for that.
Right, so it can really be broken down into 2 words, co-curricular versus extracurricular. So co-curricular meaning it's part of the curriculum, would be sponsored by the district, meaning paid for. Extracurricular, there's multiple factors that go into funding students or their families, sometimes foundation support. But extra is just that, and those are the ones that come with costs that that go more directly to families.
Thank you. Move to approve consent items as presented.
Second.
I'm going to give that to Trustee Boulay. Based on a motion by Trustee Pombo and a second by Trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. Trustee Olson, as the board clerk, would you do the honors?
Yes, we'd like to welcome the following new hiree to the Lammersville Unified School District family, Candace Banda, noon duty supervisor. Welcome.
Welcome. Now, if any board members would like to make a comment on the retirements of Principal Wingo and Assistant Superintendent Sherman.
I'd just like to say that I've worked with both Principal Wingo and Assistant Superintendent Sherman for many years, and it's been a pleasure to work with both of them, and they will be sorely missed by this district. But I wish them both all the happiness in retirement.
Thank you. I am excited for them for this new journey. Hopefully, lots of relaxation and enjoying new hobbies. I'm so grateful for the passion that you have brought to our district and your roles and for mentoring others. And I think that filling these positions with people that are just as passionate is going to be a challenge. And best of luck to you.
I'd like to echo the gratitude. Public service education is not just a career; it's an investment of your heart, and I appreciate both Assistant Superintendent Sherburne and Principal Wingo for devoting not only their intellect and their talents, educational talents, but also their hearts and kindness to our students. It makes a difference, whether it's tangible to see or not, for those who love data. Sometimes the intangibles actually are more important, and you brought a lot of those to our district, and I just echo everyone else to wish you the best in retirement.
On the retirement of Debbie Wingo, I'm going to cry. I've known her as an educator since 2005. I believe, but I'm not sure that I was on the interview panel for her when she interviewed for the VP position at Wickland Elementary way back in the day. I've really appreciated her unique insights as she was a teacher, a principal, and a board member. And I remember when I originally joined the board, she was an invaluable resource, somebody that I knew that I could trust, that I could ask questions of. So I personally in this district will really miss her. Heather Sherburne. I know you less well, but I know from being a board member for these last 7.5 years that you have absolutely been a key part of the leadership team that has taken this district to the next level. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to you. I think one of the comments that somebody made way back in the day, it's been a number of years ago, but they actually said, you have to be careful which direction you point Sherburne in because you're going to get there faster than you think. And that kind of boundless energy and drive to move things forward has been incredibly appreciated. I wish both of you the very best in the next chapter of your life. I wish that, I wish that it wasn't, selfishly, I wish that it wasn't happening, but unselfishly, I can't be more excited for both of you. Congratulations.
And we'll probably have a little bit more of a formal ceremony at the end of the year as we bid adieu a few other folks. But just I thought those were nice words for our two retirees, one of whom is one day younger than I am.
Item 8, District Administrative Reports. A, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Nicholas?
Yes, as things get rolling again, the Mountain House High School and our K-8 schools of Lammersville are starting to reestablish themselves with vigor out in the community. So I have some award winners that we'd like to announce off from the San Joaquin County Office of Education STEAM Fair, which used to be the old Science Fair. STEAM is for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. So I'd like to read those names off. And then we had a number of students qualify for the state fair as well, and I'll read them off. So starting off, Mrs. Scafidi's class, K2, class project winner, Lammersville Elementary. Levi Vicenti, first place, K3 Science, Lammersville Elementary. Tavi Yenagala, second place, 4th through 5th Science from Cuesta. Dhruvan Kespragada and Dhruv Patnam, first place and best in show, 4th and 5th grade Science, Cordis Elementary. Ruvik Deshpande, third place, 4th and 5th grade Engineering from Hanson. Vihan Patil, second place, 4th through 5th, Engineering, Wickland. Sadhu Palaniapan, first place, 4th, 5th grade Engineering, Cordis. Cheris Chenyupati, K5 Environmental Science, Hanson. Vaibhav Gudlaveteli, K12 Exhibition, Lammersville Elementary. Cicera Chandrala, third place, 6th through 8th grade Science, Hanson. Clara Kerr, first place, 6th through 8th grade Science, Lammersville. Sahasra Mutumu, third place, 6th through 8th grade Engineering, Cordis. Aditi Donde, second place, 6th through 8th grade Engineering, Hanson. Saiharish Balamuragan, first place, 6th through 8th grade Engineering, Hanson. Mahip Singh, first place, 6th through 8th grade Math and Computer Science, Bethany. Tanya John, 6th through 12th grade Environmental Science, Bethany. Arshia Chalia Shrijith, 6th through 12th grade Environmental Science, Bethany. Chinamai Mara Muthu Kumar, 6th through 12th grade Environmental Science, Hanson. Alicia Royce, second place, 9th through 12th grade Science, Mountain House High School. Jacqueline Praiwira, first place and best in show, 9th through 12th grade Science, Mountain House High School. Ashlyn Royce, third place, 9th through 12th grade Engineering, Mountain House High School. Divya Mata, second place, 9th through 12th grade Engineering, Mountain House High School. And Jordan Praiwira, first place, 9th through 12th grade Engineering, Mountain House High School. So those are all of our medal earners from San Joaquin County STEAM Fair. The following students are going on to the State Fair. For Mountain House High School, Jacqueline Praiwira, Alicia Royce, Jordan Praiwira, Divya Mata, Ashlyn Royce. From Peter Hansen Elementary, Sai Harish Balamuragan. And from Lammersville Elementary, Clara Kerr. So quite an impressive total at the Science Fair. Well done. Second of all, we're trying to, as we get more sophisticated technology-wise, we're using it as an efficiency tool and also a way to gather data so that we can prepare for the next school year in new ways. So we're doing a centralized enrollment, and we're offering an incentive for TKK because that's the most unknown group of kids and therefore the most unknown number and therefore the most unknown need for staff. So our incentive program, on April 27th, there's going to be an open enrollment period. And then, or we have an open enrollment period, and then on the 27th, we're offering an opportunity for a workshop in TK and kindergarten preparedness, which comes with a kit to help parents prepare their youngster. So this is all going out in our normal mechanisms through websites and everything, but I just wanted to let the board know that as we get ready for staffing, staffing is getting more complicated. We're at almost 7,150 students. That's 330 plus teachers. And so these incentives help families, but it also helps the district prepare. And so the last thing I'll say is on Friday, we're sending out a survey to our Lammersville Education Online, AKA the Leo Lions, to just ask a very simple question. Do you want to continue with Leo into the next school year? Are you ready to return to the mainstream? And what is your school, your home school? Because we have to set our staffing, and we don't anticipate that the staffing at Leo is going to be near what it is this year. And so to explain to the board and the community, the singletons drive all schedules. And so whether it's a big complicated high school schedule or it's the overall district program, how many teachers are placed in Leo will determine how many teachers are placed back at our mainstream program, and therefore it starts a domino effect. So the survey serves two purposes. It gives families from Leo program an opportunity to give what they need or want, and two, it allows us to staff. Because if you miss with staffing on the wrong end, meaning too many teachers, it's very, very expensive. And once you hire them, you own them for a year. So we have to be very, very careful with that. And with that said, Mr. President, that is my presentation.
I've got a question, Mr. President. Has the state given us a definitive answer whether Leo will be an option next year?
As we know it now, subject to change, the independent study rules have not been lifted, meaning that any flexibility families are looking for outside of the traditional independent study program are the ones that are in place. That any distance learning program done in the past related to COVID are not in the law, not in the ed code, and not acceptable, or therefore we're not going to get the ADA funding for them.
But the state also has not said we are not going to change it before the next school year.
As far as I know, that is correct.
So, no.
Well, that was a long-winded answer to say,
No.
no, we don't have a definitive answer.
Fair.
One thing I've learned about the state, they don't mind changing things at the last minute and then going, what? You can't adjust to that?
In fact, transitional kindergarten was an end of summer mandate many years ago.
Oh, I remember. So any other questions, comments, concerns on the superintendent's report? Item B, district enrollment report. You mentioned the number, but staff report?
It's officially 7,143 students.
Thank you. Item C, district maintenance and operations report. Staff report?
Good evening. Thanks for having me. I have a brief report tonight. Our staffing challenges continue. Our day people, as of late, have been helping us by stepping up and staying later and working overtime, helping out the night crew, so that's been very helpful. And then we try and use our operations staff to fill in the holes as much as we can. So that's where we're at. The deadline for the subcontractor pre-qualifications for CASA got extended to March 30th. So a bunch of them came this week, and Avina and I are going to meet next Friday and go over what we have to get caught up so far. But that's going to continue for the next couple of weeks. This afternoon, I had a custodial meeting at Wickland. Some issues between the day crew and the night crew. I think people are getting tired, and people are getting maybe a little cranky, so we're trying to sort those out. We had a similar meeting last Thursday at Hanson, similar type of issues that we tried to work out with the staff there. On Monday, we picked up the COVID tests from the county office, almost 7,500 test kits we picked up. We sorted them by site yesterday, and then we started delivering them today, and we have all the sites delivered except for one, and we'll finish that one tomorrow. Update on solar. So we continue to have our weekly meetings. The next one is tomorrow. At Altamont, the power was shut off on Saturday the 5th to make the tie-in between the solar array and the main electrical panel. It was off for about 4 hours. The fence is scheduled to be removed this week if they, pending the backfill, is sufficiently backfilled the area around the poles. Bethany, the power was shut off on Saturday the 12th, last Saturday. Same thing, about 4 hours to do the tie-in for the main array. The fence is scheduled to be removed next week, again, pending the backfill confirmation by the inspector. Hanson is actually scheduled for this Saturday morning, and the fencing scheduled to be removed to tie in the electrical. I'm sorry, the power's gonna be shut off to tie in the electrical. And the fencing scheduled to be removed the week of spring break, the 28th, March 28th. And then Wicklow and the power shut off is gonna be Wednesday, the 30th during spring break, for about 4 hours. And then the fencing is scheduled to be removed that same week. That's where we're at. Not a lot going on at Cuesta and Lammersville at the moment. At the high school, they're currently working on the underground boring from the north parking lot and the main electrical panels on the driveway on the right-hand side when you come in. So it's a long run to get the power back there. And they're working on the electrical connections underneath the array. So these people out there with lifts, a lot of wires around. They're working on that right now. Upcoming items, we have a lead custodial meeting next Tuesday. And we're starting to prepare for spring break, which, crazy enough, is in like a week and a half. So it's coming quick. And then staffing update. The good news is there's been no resignations since our last board meeting, so that's a positive sign. We're waiting for fingerprints to clear for 2 candidates, the evening custodian position at Bethany and the evening position at the high school. And then this Friday, we have interviews for the lead custodian position at Altamont, and then another open position at the high school. So hopefully we'll find some good candidates in and move them forward. So currently, that puts us about 4 people short. So, and that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions.
That 4 people short, is that including or excluding the 2 you're waiting for fingerprints on?
That is including the 2. So we have Bethany, 2 people at the high school, and then the day person at Altamont. It's 4 total. That's where we're at.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you all.
Item 9, action items. A, consider approval of 2021-2022 inter and intra-district transfer requests.
Move to approve 2021-2022 inter and intra-district transfer requests.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and second by trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. Item B, consider approval of 2022-2023 inter-district transfer requests.
Move to approve 2022-2023 inter-district transfer requests.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Olson and a second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. Item C, consider approval of the 2022-2023 Lammersville Unified School District Wellness Plan staff report.
We would like to welcome. We would like to thank all the members of the Wellness Committee, and last board meeting we had the first read, and we'd like to recommend strong approval of the wellness plan.
Move to approve the 2022-2023 Lammersville Unified School District Wellness Plan.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and a second by trustee Boulay, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. Item D, consider approval of the 2022-2023 Lammersville Unified School District Safe Schools Plan and School Site Safety Plans staff report.
Yes, we'd like to thank all the members of the Safety Committee, including the site principals and their teams for all the work in putting together the district and the site safety plans.
Move to approve.
Go ahead, trustee Pump.
Move to approve the 2022-2023 Lammersville Unified School District Safety Schools Plan and School Site Safety Plans.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and a second by trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. Item E, consider approval of the second interim financial report for the 2021-2022 school year. Staff report?
Yes, this report is a have to amongst the state regulations, but most importantly, when successfully done, it says we can pay the bills in this year and the outgoing 2 years, and we want to thank Gloria Grijalva and Alvina Kaiser and the business team for their hard work. That means our fiscal house is in order.
Move to approve the second interim financial report for the 2021-22 school year.
Second.
And I would just like to thank the aforementioned ladies for all the hard work. I had a headache and my eyes bled just going over the numbers, so I can't imagine what it's like putting them all in there.
I thought it was easy reading, Trustee. Based on a motion by Trustee Boulay and a second by Trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. Item 10, information and discussion items. A, high school graduation and K-8 promotion dates. Staff report?
Yes, I sent out tentative dates to the board a week or so ago to give you an opportunity to kind of take a look. The school calendar is a little bit odd this year. It kind of aligned weirdly, but we've tried to keep everything consistent. Past board gave direction to have K-8 promotion ceremonies on a different night than the Mountain House High School. So we have a high school graduation ceremony on Friday, and we've split the K-8s on Wednesday and Thursday. And we did so because the board often likes to go to more than one of them, and it gives an opportunity. Unfortunately, there's a board meeting on the Wednesday, so we've rotated the time back to 5:15 on Wednesday, and we don't make them swear in blood, but pretty dang close, that the ceremonies last an hour. And for a graduating class of about 30 to 40 kids, there's no reason why a very well-run promotion ceremony won't last an hour. And so we would be able to finish those in time to get those done. We want to thank Mr. Faubert, who graduates about 450 to 500 kids in slightly over an hour as our standard bearer, and our retiring Debbie Wingo has set the stage for what the expectations are at K-8 promotions. And with that all said, we'd like to see what the board's choices is about divvying these up so there's a balanced number of board members, and I will assign staff so there's district staff there as well.
Just a point of information. The board meeting can't start until the board gets here, so.
That is very true. And it was my idea years ago to do that big awards ceremony that went on, it became too big to control. So we've got extra. One of my big ideas that wasn't such a good idea, we have exercises around that.
Well, I'd just like to request, please, that I could be a board member at the Cuesta Elementary School one this year on Thursday, because I do have, not only as a board member, but I have an 8th grader promoting as well at that school, so I would really like to be there.
Oh yeah, about that? No, I'm just kidding.
And then on Wednesday, I attended Lammersville last year, so I would like to go to either Hanson or Wickland, and I'm open on that.
I will go to one each night, and I don't have a preference, so whatever other board members.
I have no preference either.
All right, then I'll speak up, and I'll go to Wickland on Wednesday and Cuesta on Thursday, if that helps people.
Okay.
What was the first one?
Wickland.
Okay.
I will do Lammersville and Cordis if no one has a preference.
Okay, then I'll do Hanson, and has anybody picked Bethany yet? Okay, Hanson and Bethany.
So which one is left on Thursday?
Altamont.
Altamont. So how about if I do Altamont? And I can go and I don't care. I'll be a floater in case somebody's schedule gets conflicted and go if anybody because we also have Vanita.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll be a floater.
Well, there can be 2 of us.
Yes, that's
if
right.
it needs
That's right.
to be, so.
But anyway, I'll be a floater.
And we'll reach out to Trustee Daniel and get hers, and then we'll solidify it and send out an email.
Cool.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So you mentioned earlier that these are tentative dates, or are they set in stone dates?
These are getting set in stone right now.
We're setting them.
Okay.
The only other thing I wanted to say is I made the executive decision that we would continue to live stream the high school promotion, but the high school graduation is the culminating event in our district. 8th grade promotions are a really nice transition. And so I made the decision not to fund the live stream for those. We can have the families enjoy the small ceremony at those school sites, but the high school's the culminating event, and that's how we set that up.
So is everybody okay with splitting up the elementaries, having Wednesday, Thursday, and then the high school on Friday?
Yes.
Okay. So you have the information you need?
Yeah.
Okay. Item B, information discussion, there we are. Item 10, item B. A to G Completion Improvement Grant Plan Program Fiscal Year 2021-2022. Staff report?
Yes, one of the trends over the last couple of years with the federal and state funds that have come in related to learning loss mitigation and a whole lot of other things was to free up amount of money, make it available to school districts. Often they were done in the form of a grant. And so this is a new one that came forward. A through G completion is related to high school classes and I get C and college worthiness and credit for going to college. So Sarah Barrios took the lead on this one and filled it out, and we strongly recommend it. It's about $1.1 million. No, it was, let me double check. 108,000, that's right, sorry, 108,000 for the,
1.1 million.
well, the other one was 1.1 million, and I was excited about that. So anyways, it'll help us out a little bit.
Sherman's like, I just saved you 900.
So we strongly recommend approval of the plan.
Approve.
Yeah.
Consensus to approve?
Yes. Absolutely.
All right. Item 11, calendar. A, Monday through Friday, March 28th through April 1st is spring break. No school for students. Yay. Item B, Thursday, April 14th, 2022 is the joint DLAC Education Committee meeting at 6:30 p.m. and that's going to be virtual. Item C, Wednesday, April 20th, 2022 is the next regular governing board meeting at 7 p.m. here in the district boardroom. In a moment, we will adjourn to closed session where we will be discussing A, public employee discipline dismissal release complaint, Government Code Section 54957. B, consider approval of a leave of absence for a classified employee. C, conference with labor negotiators, Government Code Section 54957.6. D, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code Section 54956.8. And E, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, Government Code Section 54956.9. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and a second by trustee Olson, student trustee preferential vote.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. We are now adjourned to closed session. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Closed session during the closed session of the board meeting on March 16th, 2022. Closed session item B, on the item of consider approval of leave of absence for classified employee for 4/4/2022 to 4/25/2022. The board took action on a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Olson to approve long-term leave of absence for certificated employee number 130637 from 4/4/2022 to 4/22/2022 by the following vote. 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Based on a motion by trustee Pombo and seconded by trustee Boulay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries with 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 absent. We are now adjourned.